I don't want to spend too much time on President Obama's press conference in terms of Ferguson.
Really?
We can we can talk a little bit about this. There's a piece in the Times about how the president seems to be completely disengaging from Congress in some fashion. But with all that said, of course, we know how the right is reacting to what is going on in Ferguson. They're just a point in case, John Gibson.
Oh, God.
I don't know if you remember John Gibson. He was on Fox back in the day. And he was a moron then. And he is still a moron. A horribly offensive moron, but nevertheless, a moron. And I'm trying to see, maybe he deleted the tweet now. I'm not quite sure. But, oh yeah, here it is. So John Gibson posts a tweet here. And maybe this is a time where, like, what's his face? Public shaming should get on this. So John Gibson posts a photo of Mike Brown and hashtags it Mike B. Thuggin with a picture of just what appears to be just some black guy holding a gun with money in his mouth and a Hawaiian punch. And not Michael Brown. Just a guy that he wanted to, in response to the question, John Gibson says, Michael Bodden joins Gibson Radio talking about Ferguson shooting. And then someone responds, Michael Bodden just exposed you for being an obvious race baiter and server of red meat for the socially challenged Fox nuts. And then Gibson posts a picture of Mike B. Thuggin, just some random black guy that apparently he found, who knows where he saw this picture. And one of our listeners, Kevin Cruz, took a screenshot, sent it to me, and also showed that Gibson was just a moron, just picking random pictures of black people. And then post the video that purports to have Michael Brown taking a package of cigars from a convenience store, which is wholly unrelated to his shooting. Even as admitted to by the police. Released in a way, ostensibly, I guess, to mitigate the fact that he was murdered by the police. And Gibson says, oh, look at this then. Gibson so far has refused to even delete the tweet or apologize for it. This is the mentality of the right in this country. And when we talk about why President Obama supposedly couldn't be more forceful because it would polarize the situation more, it doesn't. There is no polarizing the situation more racially at this point. Let's play this clip from Fox News radio anchor Todd Starnes in his sense of who's really behind this whole Michael Brown mess.
And on this, we have our friend of the show, Todd Starnes, host of Fox News, Todd Starnes, Fox News and Commentary. You hear it throughout the day here on 96.5. Todd, good morning.
Hey, Alice, good morning. Glad to be with you.
I appreciate you joining us, and I encourage folks also to go to Amazon or go to your local bookstore and buy your latest book, God Bless America. And you've been weighing in on this civil unrest in Ferguson, and there's, quote, peaceful protests that turn into not so peaceful. But your take on it, and I have to agree, is that it appears the Obama administration is kind of orchestrating this tragedy.
Well, it certainly appears to be that way. Very, very disturbing. The administration, we now know, has been in cahoots with Al Sharpton. The reports from the L.A. Times and others are telling us that Attorney General Eric Holder and Valerie Jarrett have been keeping him informed of what's been going on and what their plans are. We do know that Eric Holder told them to remove the tanks and the heavy firepower back on Sunday, and he also tried to suppress the videotape of the convenience store robbery. So this is very troubling. And then when you tie in this, the president's two public speeches about this and his statement, it really does seem that they have decided to insert themselves right into the middle of this narrative.
Now, the idea that the president wouldn't address a 2 weeks of protests that involve tanks and snipers and flashbang grenades and wooden bullets and rubber bullets and tear gas. The idea that it's strange for the Department of Justice to be looking into this matter is just, there is no winning with these people. So the idea that the president should be concerned about polarizing the situation more, I'm sorry. At one point, this stuff needs to be addressed. However, since there is an open question as to whether or not President Obama was involved in a conspiracy,
You guys, Sam, you guys like you and Eddie Glaude, whiny professor you had on the first hour, you guys are so literal about everything. You don't see the big picture, man.
what's the big picture?
The big picture is we are undermining the police and creating a race war up in Missouri. Have a little subtlety, man. I don't understand how guys like Ted Starnes are so on point, but they are. They see it.
He sees it clearly.
He sees it clearly. Look. I told Eric Holder, I said, look, we got the kids coming over across the border. We got the whole Sharia thing that's happening, that's in orbit. We need to get the racial component going. I don't want to just be having Mexicans come into the country and getting funded by the Saudis to implement Sharia. I want to do something more traditional, man. So I said, look, let's go to Missouri. Let's spark this up.
Now
We released the videotape, too. Yeah.
You released the videotape.
Well, not literally personally, Sam. I have an executive function.
I see.
Yeah.
And of course, when are you guys going to have like something happen from the north? Like maybe organize the Inuit.
You know, that's a good idea. That's interesting. I think when you said the North, I was thinking like, why don't we light Newark up again? You know, I kind of want to like a sort of a retro feel this summer. We got a war going on. We're gonna get some action in the Middle East. Let's have some riots going on across America. Why is it that those guys can always see what's happening and you guys can't? You're supposedly the smart, educated ones.
Bingo.
You can't see what's going on right under your nose. And
Well,
as I always say before I sign off, Allah Akbar. Not addressing it. I'm creating it. Crazy.